What's up, everybody? My name's Dan. Welcome to Ahnestly. I thought this chair was gonna be kind of just a whatever nothing burger chair, but man, Haworth knocked it out of the park with this chair here. This is the Haworth Breck, and it is Haworth's newest chair and also their cheapest chair to date. And it is one of the best chairs that I've tested under $500. So good, in fact, that I'm calling it one of my top chair picks of 2024. Let's get honest. Links to everything you see here in this video will be in the description below. Please consider using them. It really helps this channel a lot, and I really appreciate it. So the best parts about the Haworth Breck are gonna be the seat cushion, the arms, and the backrest. But as always, I'm gonna break down the chair starting from the bottom, working our way up, and I'll give my opinions on what's good, what's not so good as we go through. The casters on the Haworth Breck are hard casters. Hard casters mean that they work really well, they slide really well on carpet, but not so great for hardwood floors. If you try, or any hard floor, if you put it on a hard floor, the chair will go flying, so just be careful. On the white frame version of the Breck, the casters are gonna have a gray accent on the wheels, but on the black frame version, the casters are gonna be all black. The legs on the Breck are nice and wide, they're nice and flat, which makes it really great for people who like to raise their feet up onto the chair legs. When it comes to features under the chair, on the right side, you get a single arm, and on that arm is a lever. The lever is gonna be your height adjustment, so up and down, and keep in mind that this chair goes really low, which makes it a great option for shorter folks. More on that in the sizing section. On the end of that arm is going to be a knob, and this knob is going to control your tilt limiter. So in the farthest forward position, it's gonna lock your seat upright, and then with every turn, it's gonna allow your chair to go back a little bit further and a little bit further. Again, you get 4 total positions, upright lock, and then 3 tilt back positions. Now keep in mind that you can't lock your chair into a tilted position. This is pretty common, a common thing you see with American chairs like Herman Miller, Haworth, and Steelcase. The Haworth Breck does not have a tilt tension knob, which means that you cannot control how easy or difficult it is to tilt back in your chair. Instead, they're using a weight activated or automatic weight adjusted tilt tension. What that means is that it can sense how much weight or pressure you're putting on that tilt, and it's gonna hold and kind of keep you in that position. And in my humble opinion, it works well, but tilting in general in this chair is actually pretty darn difficult. For reference, I'm 5'6", 170 pounds, so by no means a light guy. But even for me, trying to tilt back in this chair takes a considerable more amount of pressure and movement than it does in most other chairs. So if you are lighter or shorter, you may find yourself having a difficult time trying to tilt inside of the Breck. One hidden feature about the Breck is that if you look right here, there's a like button, and you should definitely push it. Also, I'm trying to hit 15 million subscribers by the end of the month. I'm super close. Please get subscribed. It really helps a lot. On the left side is a single lever, and this lever is going to control your seat pan depth. So basically, how deep do you want your seat to be? And this thing is a pain in the ass to use. I found the best way to adjust this seat pan is going to be push the lever, and if you want to bring it out, you want to push that booty and hips outwards like this. And then if you want to push it back in, you got to hold that lever, stand up out of the chair, and push it in with your calves. Trying to push it in and out while you're seated in the chair is near impossible. When the seat pan is extended all the way out and you sit back in your chair, I'm happy to report that I don't feel an edge or a gap in my back of the booty here. However, when you start to tilt backwards, you do start to feel the back edge of the seat, and it doesn't feel super comfortable. So if you're tilting back, you're gonna have to scooch up a little bit in your chair to avoid feeling that on your butt. The seat cushion on this chair is shockingly good. I would call it like a medium firmness. And I was a little bit worried because the seat cushion does look really thin. However, again, I'm 170 pounds and I've been sitting on this thing for a few days now, for long periods of time, and I'm happy to report that I've not felt the bottom at all. As a matter of fact, I love the way that I'm not exactly sure what they did with the curvature, but it feels incredibly supportive, and I've just been able to sit in it with no issues. The seat pan is really shallow though. Even with it fully extended out, this seat is not all that deep. As a matter of fact, again, me being pretty short, 5'6" with short legs, with the seat pan fully extended out, even now I can fit about 2 fingers behind my knee, and general best practice is that you're supposed to be able to fit 1 to 2 fingers behind your leg before it makes contact with the front edge of the chair. These arms are 4D arms, which means they can go up and down, and the way you raise it up and down, the lever for it is gonna be back here. It's not the best. I love having it here so I can really control how far I bring it up. When it's down here, you kind of have no idea how tall it is, but it can go up and down. And then these arms can go forward and back. They can go in and out, and then they can also swivel like this. What makes these arms so good and so unique is that they are connected to the backrest. That in and of itself isn't unique. There are a lot of chairs that the armrests are connected to the backrest. What makes them unique is that when I push on the arm, you might actually be able to see this, but you can see that the seat, the backrest, is actually kind of moving forward as I push down on this arm. And why that's so unique is that when I have the arms up, the way I like to operate on a computer is I like to have my elbows resting on the arm pads as I type. And when I do this, when I push down a little bit, not even a ton of tension, when I just put a tiny bit of pressure on here, the backrest actually kind of scooches forward. And what that means is it actually kind of scoops me into a very natural, but very gentle, upright position as I work. So when I do this, it actually encourages my back to kind of extend, not extend, but just kind of get straight into a proper position. The arm pads themselves have a decent amount of give. These are actually pretty soft and offer like a good amount of support on my elbows. They don't hurt my elbows as I rest them while I was working. And these arms, because they're connected to the backrest, when you tilt back, it is going to tilt up with you. One big con about this armrest though is that it is way too easy to swivel. The front and back motion and the in and out is a little bit more difficult, but this swivel, it just swivels way too easily, bringing them out of position quickly. Haworth killed it with this backrest. You see, I was really worried because when I started assembling this chair, I felt this backrest material. There are other chairs that kind of use this hard plasticky material on their backrest. The Herman Miller Mirror 2, kind of the Herman Miller Sail. They use this kind of material here, and every time I've sat in it, there's always just kind of something that might be prodding or poking. I found, for example, on the Mirror 2, when I sat on the one without any kind of fabric cover on top of it or foam barrier between, I just found it really, really rough on my back. It just felt really stiff, just really hard stuff digging into places. This thing, I don't know what they did, I don't know how they contorted it, but I don't feel that at all. There's no picking, no poking, no prodding, nothing like that. As a matter of fact, for all my tests, I made sure to wear pants that had belt loops because the biggest issue that I found was that when I wear pants with belt loops, when I scooch back, because the material is hard, I found that a lot of times those chairs end up pushing into the belt loop and stabbing into your, hip area. But with this, no matter what I've worn pants with thicker belt loops. This one has a little bit thinner. I haven't felt any kind of pressing in or pushing or poking at all. It is just excellent how they designed this thing. The way they designed this backrest is that obviously it's got a ton of holes, making it an excellent breathable chair for someone who wants to stay cool all day long. And this material is like, it's not loose, but it's got a good amount of give, which means it'll kind of adjust to your back as you move around in it. But because this is more of a plasticky material, it's gonna be a little bit more rigid, a little bit more supportive than mesh would be. The lumbar support on the back is literally just a plastic piece that spans all the way across. Not the best lumbar support design in the world. It does offer a little bit more support in that lower back. I do wish you could push it in just a little bit, but like I said earlier in the arm section, pushing down on the armrest does give me that extra oomph to make sure that I'm sitting upright and in a good postured position inside of this chair. The curve on the upper back of the chair is a little bit more forward than on some other chairs that I've tested. Not aggressive by any means, but just a little bit more forward. And to me, it's been a helpful indicator or reminder because when I sit in the chair, if I don't find my shoulder blades and upper back making contact with this upper part of the chair, it's a reminder that, hey, you're probably slouching right now. So I'm like, oh, whoops, my shoulder blades aren't touching. That means I gotta pull back a little bit and make sure I get into proper posture inside of my chair. The edges of this backrest are very stiff. It's hard all the way around, but I find that it's narrow enough that when I sit in the chair and I open that chest up, it doesn't bang into my triceps, and I'm able to spread that chest and open it up for, really open seating inside of this chair. My only gripe about the Breck and the backrest is going to be the fact that even though inside of here flexes and it'll kind of move to your spine and move to your back as you move around in it, the entire frame itself is really rigid, which means that if you sit in your chair and you try to turn, you're gonna find that the frame actually doesn't bend and move with your entire body like it does on other high-end chairs. Because of the low seat height, the shallow seat pan, and then the hard edges on the outside, I think this chair is gonna be best for very short folks. I'm talking like 5 foot and under, all the way up to about maybe 5'9", 5'10" at max. I think if you get taller than that, then these hard edges might start to dig into certain bone structures of the back of taller folks. Haworth recommends a maximum weight of 325 pounds, but me personally, when I see how skinny this seat cushion is, I personally am gonna recommend, again, I'm 170 pounds, I didn't find any issues, but I don't think you should go much heavier than that. I'm gonna say probably like 200 to 225 pounds max for this chair. I can already tell in the comments that there are gonna be a lot of people who are complaining, $400 for this is just a chair with all plastic, it's not worth it. I totally get those concerns, but I think the build quality on this chair beats a lot of the chairs in that $200-300 price point, and built into the price is a solid 12-year warranty from a company with a great track record of customer service. All the Brecks have the exact same configuration, but the price will change depending on the color cushion you choose, as well as the color frame. If you go with the black on black, it starts at $420. This one that I have here with the seafoam green and the white frame, this thing costs $535. Again, links to everything will be in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please consider using them. It helps this channel a lot. Until next time, stay honest.